My dear friends, today I want to share a heartwarming and inspiring story about a boy who discovers the true meaning of self confidence. This story is written in a simple way, so everyone, young and old, can understand and enjoy it. Confidence is a powerful thing. It's not just about believing you can achieve your dreams, but about knowing that you are enough just as you are. Often we think we are not good enough or compare ourselves to others, but confidence starts from within. This story will take you on a journey with a boy named Arjun, who learns the value of trusting himself and his abilities. He starts out doubting himself, like many of us do, but through a series of events, he discovers his inner strength. It's a story filled with lessons, emotions, and moments of growth, and by the end, you'll see why having confidence in yourself is so important. So let's begin this journey together. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this simple yet meaningful story. The story of Arjun's confidence. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between lush green hills, there lived a boy named Arjun. Arjun was 11 years old, with bright, curious eyes and a heart full of dreams. He loved to read books and often spent hours imagining himself as the hero in the adventures he read about. But there was one problem. Arjun didn't believe in himself. Arjun was shy and unsure. He always thought others were better than him. Whether it was in school, on the playground, or even at home, he would compare himself to others. I'm not smart enough, he would think when he struggled with a math problem. I'll never be good at sports like Ravi, he would mutter after losing a race. He admired his friends and siblings, but forgot to see the good in himself. One day, his school announced a reading competition. The winner would get a shiny gold medal and the chance to represent the school in a regional event. Arjun loved reading, but the thought of standing in front of a crowd made his stomach twist in knots. I could never win, he told himself. What if I mess up? Everyone will laugh at me. When he got home, his mother noticed his worried expression. What's wrong, Arjun? She asked gently. Arjun hesitated, but eventually shared his fears about the competition. His mother smiled and said, Arjun, do you know the first step to achieving something great? Arjun shook his head. It's believing that you can, she said. You already love reading, and that's your strength. Don't let fear stop you from showing what you love. Her words stayed with Arjun that night. He thought about all the times he had given up before even trying. Maybe I should at least try, he whispered to himself before drifting off to sleep. The journey to self-confidence. The next day, Arjun decided to participate in the competition. At first, he felt nervous, even just practicing. His hands trembled as he read aloud, and his voice cracked. But he didn't give up. He practiced every evening, reading to his mother and younger sister. Each time he improved a little. His mother would clap and cheer him on, saying, See, you're getting better every day. One evening, while practicing, his best friend Ravi came over. Wow, Arjun, you read so well, Ravi said, genuinely impressed. Arjun blushed but smiled. It felt good to hear those words. Slowly, his confidence grew. He started to believe that maybe, just maybe, he could do it. On the day of the competition, the school auditorium was packed. Arjun's name was called, and he walked onto the stage. His heart was pounding, but he remembered his mother's advice. Believe in yourself. Taking a deep breath, he began to read. The hall fell silent as Arjun's clear voice filled the room. He read with passion, bringing the story to life. When he finished, the audience erupted in applause. Arjun couldn't believe it. He had done it. Later, when the winners were announced, Arjun's name was called for first place. He held the shiny gold medal in his hands, his heart swelling with pride. The lesson. From that day on, Arjun realized the power of self-confidence. It wasn't about being the best or never making mistakes. It was about believing in his own abilities and not giving up. Whenever he faced challenges, He reminded himself of the boy who stood on stage and read with all his heart. And so, Arjun's life changed. He started trying new things, speaking up in class, and even helping others find their confidence. He understood that confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build one step at a time. Conclusion. Dear friends, this story of Arjun teaches us that confidence is like a muscle. It grows stronger the more you use it. No matter how big or small your dreams are, believe in yourself. Even when you feel scared or unsure, take that first step. You might surprise yourself with what you can achieve. Always remember, you are capable, you are enough, and you have every reason to be confident in yourself. Just like Arjun, all you need is a little belief and a lot of courage. So go out there and shine, because the world is waiting to see what you can do, certainly. Let's dive deeper into Arjun's journey and show how his newfound confidence impacts not just his life, but also those around him. Arjun's growing confidence. After winning the reading competition, Arjun became the talk of his school. His classmates admired him, and even the teachers praised his dedication. But most importantly, something had changed within Arjun. For the first time in his life, he felt proud of himself, not because he won, but because he had faced his fears. One afternoon, during a break, his teacher, Mr. Raman, called him aside. Arjun, I see a spark in you now, he said. Confidence doesn't just help you succeed, it inspires others. I think you should consider sharing your story with your classmates. Arjun hesitated. Me? Share my story? What if I mess up again? Mr. Raman chuckled. Confidence isn't about never being afraid. It's about doing things even when you are. And remember, your story could help others find their own courage. Arjun thought about it and agreed. The next day, during assembly, he stood on stage again. This time, he wasn't reading a story, he was sharing his own. He talked about his fears, his doubts, and how he found the courage to try. As he spoke, he noticed how his classmates listened intently, nodding along. Some of them even smiled, as if they too had felt the same fears. When he finished, the hall erupted in applause once more. Afterward, many students came up to him to thank him. I always thought I was the only one who felt scared, one girl said, but now I feel like I can try too. Helping others shine. Arjun's journey didn't end there. He realized that just as he had been inspired by his mother's words, he could inspire others. He started helping his friends in small ways. When Ravi struggled with a science project, Arjun encouraged him, saying, "You've got this. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn." Slowly, his friends began to notice a change in themselves too. They started taking chances, speaking up in class, and trying new activities. Arjun's confidence became like a flame that lit others' candles, spreading light and hope. One day, his school organized a talent show, and a boy named Aman signed up to perform a magic trick. Aman was shy, just like Arjun had been. A few days before the show, Aman confessed to Arjun, "I don't think I can do it. What if everyone laughs at me?" Arjun smiled and said, "Aman, I used to feel the same way. But do you know what helped me? I realized that people aren't waiting for me to fail. They're rooting for me to succeed. And even if I make a mistake, it's okay. It's about trying, not being perfect." Aman nodded, encouraged by Arjun's words. On the day of the talent show, Aman performed his magic trick flawlessly. The crowd cheered, and Aman beamed with pride. Later, he told Arjun, "Thank you. I wouldn't have done it without your support." Facing bigger challenges. As the months went by, Arjun's confidence continued to grow. He started participating in other activities, like debates and group projects. But life wasn't always easy. There were times when he stumbled and felt like giving up. During a school debate competition, he forgot his points midway and froze on stage. His heart sank as he walked back to his seat, thinking he had failed. That evening, his mother found him sitting quietly in his room. "What's wrong, Arjun?" she asked. "I messed up today," he admitted. I thought I was confident, but I failed. His mother smiled gently. Arjun, do you know what makes a person truly confident? It's not winning all the time. It's about getting back up after a fall. Mistakes don't define you. How you respond to them does. Arjun thought about her words and realized she was right. The next day, he approached his debate teacher and asked for feedback. I want to learn from my mistakes, he said. His teacher praised his attitude and gave him tips to improve. With each mistake, Arjun grew stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The ripple effect. Arjun's confidence began to create a ripple effect in his village. He started a small reading club where children could come together to read, share stories, and encourage each other. The club became a safe space for kids to express themselves without fear of judgment. One day, a reporter from the local newspaper visited their school. She had heard about the reading club and wanted to interview Arjun. What inspired you to start this club? She asked. Arjun smiled and said, I used to be afraid of trying new things because I didn't believe in myself. But once I found my confidence, I realized how important it is to share that with others. This club isn't just about reading, it's about helping each other grow. The article about Arjun and his reading club was published in the newspaper. And soon, people from neighboring villages came to visit. They wanted to start similar clubs in their own communities. Arjun's small act of courage had grown into something much bigger than he had ever imagined. The big lesson years later, as Arjun looked back on his journey, he realized how far he had come. From a shy boy who doubted himself to a confident young leader who inspired others, his life was proof of the power of self-belief. He understood that confidence isn't about being the loudest or the strongest. It's about knowing your worth and never giving up. Arjun often shared this lesson with others, saying, the world is full of challenges, but you already have everything you need to face them. Believe in yourself, and you'll see that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Final message. And so, my dear friends, remember Arjun's story whenever you feel unsure of yourself. Confidence doesn't mean being fearless. It means taking that first step. Even when you're scared, it's okay to make mistakes, to fall, and to feel afraid. What matters is that you keep trying. Believe in yourself, just like Arjun did, and watch how your life changes. The world is waiting for your unique light. Don't be afraid to let it shine. Let's dive deeper into Arjun's life as he grows older and see how his confidence shapes his future and the world around him. Arjun's teenage years, confidence put to the test. As Arjun grew older and entered his teenage years, life became more complex. School became more demanding, friendships changed, and new challenges arose. Though Arjun had grown more confident, he soon realized that confidence wasn't something you achieve once and keep forever. It was something you had to nurture, especially in difficult times. One of the biggest challenges came during his final year in school. The school announced a national-level storytelling competition, and the winner would get a scholarship to a prestigious college. Arjun was thrilled at the opportunity but also nervous. The competition wasn't like the smaller events he had participated in before. This would be on a much larger scale, with participants from all over the country. I'm not sure I can do this, Arjun confessed to his best friend Ravi one evening. What if I'm not good enough? Ravi, who had always admired Arjun's determination, replied, Arjun, you've taught all of us about the importance of believing in ourselves. Now it's your turn to remember that lesson. You've come so far. Trust yourself. You can do this. The road to the big stage. With Ravi's encouragement, Arjun decided to give it his best shot. He spent weeks preparing his story, crafting every detail to make it engaging and meaningful. The story he chose to tell was inspired by his own journey, a tale of a boy who overcame self-doubt to find his inner strength. But as the competition drew closer, Arjun started to feel the weight of expectations. What if I fail? He thought. The pressure was immense, and there were moments when he wanted to quit. Yet, every time he felt like giving up, he remembered the lessons he had learned over the years. Confidence wasn't about being perfect. It was about trying, even when it was hard. On the day of the competition, Arjun stood backstage, his heart pounding. He could hear the applause for the participant before him, and it only made his nerves worse. But then he closed his eyes and took a deep breath. I've prepared for this, he told himself. I'm ready. When his name was called, Arjun walked onto the stage. The bright lights and large audience were intimidating. But he focused on the story he was about to share. As he began to speak, something magical happened. The words flowed naturally, and the audience hung on to every word. Arjun wasn't just telling a story, he was living it, pouring his heart into every sentence. When he finished, the auditorium erupted in a standing ovation. Arjun felt a wave of relief and pride. No matter the outcome, he knew he had given it his all. The turning point. A few days later, the results were announced. Arjun had won first place. The scholarship was his, and his story had touched the hearts of the judges and audience alike. But for Arjun, the real victory wasn't the prize. It was the realization that he had overcome his fears once again. As he received his award, Arjun spoke to the audience. This isn't just my victory, he said. It's a reminder that confidence isn't about never being afraid. It's about believing in yourself, even when things seem impossible. I hope my story inspires others to take that first step, no matter how scary it feels. Building a legacy. Winning the competition opened many doors for Arjun. He earned a place at a prestigious college, where he continued to grow and thrive, but he never forgot his roots or the lessons he had learned. In college, he started a club called Voices of Courage, where students could share their stories, overcome their fears, and build their confidence together. The club became a huge success, and Arjun's efforts didn't go unnoticed. He was invited to give talks at schools, colleges, and even community events. Everywhere he went, he shared his message. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build, and it starts with believing in yourself. Arjun's adult life. Spreading confidence to the world. As the years went by, Arjun's passion for inspiring others grew. He became a motivational speaker and a writer, traveling across the country to share his experiences. His books, filled with stories of overcoming self-doubt, became bestsellers. People from all walks of life found comfort and strength in his words. One day, Arjun returned to his village for a special event. The school where he had first discovered his confidence was honoring him for his contributions. As he stood in the same auditorium where he had won his first competition, memories of his journey came flooding back. In his speech, Arjun said, "This place will always be special to me. It's where I took my first steps toward believing in myself. I want every child here to know that you are capable of incredible things. Don't let fear hold you back. Trust yourself, and you'll be amazed at what you can achieve." The legacy of confidence. Arjun's story didn't just end with his own success, it became a beacon of hope for countless others. His life showed that confidence isn't about being the best or never making mistakes. It's about taking chances, learning from failures, and never giving up. And so, dear friends, let Arjun's journey remind you that confidence is within all of us. No matter where you are in life or what challenges you face, believe in yourself. Your story, like Arjun's, has the power to inspire the world. So go ahead, take that first step. The rest of your journey awaits. Let's explore Arjun's deeper impact on the world and the ripple effect of his story as he grows into a global icon of confidence and inspiration. Arjun's vision, confidence for everyone. Years after Arjun's humble beginnings, his work had grown into something extraordinary. From the small reading club he started in his village to global platforms where he spoke, Arjun's message remained the same. Believe in yourself and you can overcome anything. One day, while reflecting on his journey, Arjun realized that not everyone had access to the same opportunities he did. Many children and adults around the world lacked the support or resources to build their confidence. This thought stayed with him. and he felt a deep responsibility to do something about it. I didn't come this far just for myself, Arjun thought. I want to make sure that anyone, no matter where they come from, has the chance to believe in themselves. The foundation of confidence. With this vision in mind, Arjun decided to start a foundation called the Confidence Project. The foundation's goal was simple: to help people, especially children, discover their potential and overcome their fears. It offered free workshops, mentorship programs, and resources in schools, villages, and cities around the world. One of the foundation's most impactful programs was called First Step. It encouraged people to take their first step towards something they were afraid of, whether it was speaking in public, pursuing a dream, or simply believing they were capable of change. The program included personal coaching, storytelling sessions, and a supportive community where participants could share their journeys. Stories of transformation. The Confidence Project quickly gained attention, and thousands of people began sharing their stories. From a girl in a remote village who became the first in her family to attend college, to a retired man who finally pursued his lifelong dream of painting, Arjun's foundation became a catalyst for transformation. One story that particularly touched Arjun's heart was that of a young boy named Kabir. Kabir lived in a small town and struggled with a severe stutter. Because of this, he avoided speaking in class and often felt invisible. When he heard about the Confidence Project, he hesitated to join. What's the point? He thought. I'll never be able to speak like everyone else. But something about Arjun's story gave Kabir hope. He joined the First Step program and started attending sessions. At first, he barely spoke, but with encouragement from his mentor and peers, Kabir slowly began to find his voice. Months later, he stood on a stage in front of his school and delivered a heartfelt speech about his journey. Though his words came slowly, they were filled with courage and determination. The audience gave him a standing ovation, and Kabir's life changed forever. When Arjun met Kabir and heard his story, he said, "You are proof that confidence isn't about being flawless, it's about showing up. Even when it's hard, you inspire me." Kabir. A global movement. As the Confidence Project grew, so did Arjun's influence. He was invited to speak at international events, from the United Nations to conferences on education and mental health. People from every corner of the world resonated with his message. Arjun always made sure to remind his audiences that confidence wasn't a gift reserved for a few, it was something everyone could cultivate. At one event, a journalist asked him, "Arjun, after everything you've achieved, what keeps you going?" Arjun smiled and said, "It's the stories. Every time someone tells me how they overcame their fears or achieved their dream because they believed in themselves, I'm reminded why I started. Confidence is a gift that keeps on giving. When you believe in yourself, you inspire others to do the same. And that ripple effect can change the world." Arjun's personal journey. Though Arjun was busy with his work, he always stayed connected to his roots. He often visited his village, spending time with the children at the school where his journey began. Sitting under the same banyan tree where he used to read, he would tell the kids stories of courage and determination. One day, a young girl from the village named Meera approached him. "Arjun, sir," she said shyly, "do you ever feel scared anymore?" Arjun chuckled. "All the time, Meera. Fear never really goes away. But you know what I've learned? It's okay to be scared. Courage isn't about never feeling fear. It's about doing things despite the fear. Even now, when I stand on a big stage or start a new project, I feel nervous. But then I remind myself of something my mother once told me. Believe in yourself and take the first step. The rest will follow." Meera nodded, her eyes sparkling with understanding. "I'll try to remember that." The enduring legacy. As Arjun grew older, his impact only deepened. The Confidence Project expanded to over 50 countries, touching millions of lives. Arjun's books became a staple in schools and libraries, inspiring generations to believe in themselves. His life was a testament to the idea that one person's courage could ignite a global movement. On his 60th birthday, a grand celebration was held in his honor. People from all over the world gathered to share how Arjun had changed their lives. Teachers, parents, children, and even world leaders spoke about how his message of self belief had shaped their journeys. In his speech that day, Arjun said, I started as a boy who didn't believe in himself. But along the way, I realized that confidence isn't about being extraordinary. It's about embracing who you are and daring to try. My greatest hope is that each of you remembers this. You have the power to create your own story. Believe in yourself, take that first step, and never stop reaching for your dreams. Final message to readers. And so, dear friends, Arjun's story reminds us that confidence is a journey, not a destination. It's about embracing your fears, learning from your mistakes, and continuing to grow. No matter where you are in life, it's never too late to believe in yourself. Let Arjun's journey inspire you to write your own story, one filled with courage, determination, and the unshakable belief that you are capable of greatness. The world is waiting to see what you will achieve. So go on. Take that first step and let your light shine. Arjun's final chapter. Passing the torch. As Arjun grew older, his life's work reached even greater heights. By this time, the Confidence Project had become a global movement, supported by educators, organizations, and governments. But for Arjun, the most fulfilling moments weren't in the spotlight. They were in the quiet, personal connections he formed with people who shared their journeys with him. Arjun had always believed that true leadership wasn't about being in the center. It was about empowering others to take the lead. And so, he made it his mission to nurture the next generation of leaders who would carry his message forward. Mentoring the next generation. One of the young leaders Arjun mentored was a boy named Dev, who reminded him of his younger self. Dev was brilliant but painfully shy. Though he excelled in academics, he avoided leadership roles, convinced he wasn't cut out for them. When he first met Arjun at a workshop, he admitted, I don't think I can ever be confident like you. Arjun smiled warmly and replied, Dev, confidence isn't about being like me or anyone else. It's about being the best version of yourself. Let's start small. What's one thing you're passionate about? Dev hesitated before saying, I love math. I've always wanted to teach others, but I'm too scared to speak in front of a crowd. Arjun encouraged him to start small, just as he had all those years ago. Find one person to teach, he suggested. Start with something simple. Confidence grows with every step. Taking Arjun's advice, Dev began tutoring a younger student in his neighborhood. Gradually, he gained the courage to lead small study groups. Within a year, he was conducting math workshops at his school. At one of these workshops, Arjun attended quietly, watching from the back. Afterward, he approached Dev and said, See, you had it in you all along. Dev went on to become a teacher and later a leader in the Confidence Project, inspiring countless students with his story. A final dream. As Arjun entered his later years, he had one final dream: to create a space where people from all walks of life could come together to share their stories and learn from one another. He envisioned a global center for confidence building, a place filled with books, workshops, and mentors. With the support of his team, Arjun turned this dream into reality. The Global Confidence Center was built in his home village, a symbol of how far he and his message had come. The center became a hub of inspiration, visited by people from around the world. On its walls were inscribed the words that had guided Arjun's life. Confidence begins with the courage to take the first step. Arjun's farewell. Arjun's health began to decline in his 80s, but his spirit remained as strong as ever. On his final visit to the Global Confidence Center, he sat in the reading hall surrounded by children, sharing one last story. He spoke of his journey, his fears, and his triumphs, and the countless lives he had been privileged to touch. As he finished, a young girl asked, Arjun, sir, What is the most important thing you've learned in your life? Arjun smiled, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. The most important thing I've learned is that everyone has something special inside them. Confidence isn't about being the best or never failing. It's about believing in that special part of yourself and sharing it with the world. If you do that, you'll live a life full of meaning. That evening, as the sun set over the village, Arjun passed away peacefully in his sleep, surrounded by family, friends, and the community he had inspired. News of his passing spread quickly, and tributes poured in from around the world. People shared how Arjun's story had changed their lives, and his legacy continued to shine brightly. The legacy lives on. Though Arjun was no longer physically present, his impact endured. The Confidence Project continued to thrive, led by the countless people he had inspired. His books, speeches, and programs remained a source of hope for generations to come. In his honor, his village was renamed Arjun Nagar, and the banyan tree where he had first read aloud as a boy became a symbol of courage and growth. Every year, on Arjun's birthday, people gathered at the Global Confidence Center to celebrate his life and recommit to the values he had championed: courage, resilience, and self-belief. The story never ends. And so, dear friends, Arjun's story reminds us that confidence is a gift we can all give ourselves and each other. His life was proof that even the smallest steps can lead to the greatest journeys. Arjun's light didn't fade when he passed. It multiplied, carried forward by everyone he touched. Now it's your turn. What will your story be? What step will you take today to believe in yourself and make a difference? Remember, the world needs your light. Take that first step and let your story inspire others, just like Arjun's did.